Hello, Malachi Grant here. I've come to discuss a very common problem found throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. But first, I'd like to talk about some background information found throughout this era. The COVID-19 pandemic has really hindered children from being able to properly learn during this pandemic. Kids can't go see their teachers, and they've been forced to stay home and try and learn through their computers, which can be extremely challenging, especially for the younger ones and ones who have been long implemented into this system that we're used to. Luckily, we have been able to have advancements in technology that allow for this, which was really perfect timing. Systems such as Canvas and Summit have really allowed us to embrace online learning, and so that we can properly tackle this pandemic. So one problem that I have found is that it is really hard to pay attention in class, just like listening to the teacher's voices. It can be quite monotonous. I was trying to think of where all my problems stemmed from learning through the COVID-19 pandemic, and it is just from the fact that I am not listening clear enough to the Zoom calls, because I can get very distracted. You're just not in a classroom environment, and it's hard to listen through your computer for a full hour. So a way that we solve this at the CSB Inc. is Zoom Reader. So basically what Zoom Reader is a closed captioning type system that allows students to watch Zooms while also getting live closed captioning through it. Basically, to explain, whenever you're watching a Zoom and your teacher is talking, you will be able to read along with them exactly what they're saying while you're listening to it, making the information much more easy to retain while you are just sitting there in the Zoom. And it's much better than just listening, because you're doing more than one thing at once. It allows for much better retainment of the information you're learning. It also has a couple other features. One of them is our copy feature. It allows us to paste what the closed captioning has been writing onto a Google Doc or Microsoft Word, whatever your preference is, and be able to reread that at a later date. Also, it has a keywords function where, say we're in like a chemistry lesson, we're learning about nuclear decay. The word nuclear decay would be highlighted, and words that have to do anything with nuclear decay would be highlighted, so then it's easier to retain the really important information that's from the Zoom and kind of put away the other stuff that you don't need as much or don't need at all. This is a very common problem, as you can see, as I polled a group of students that have been taking Zoom for the past year, and over 70% of them said that they had a really hard time retaining information from class through the Zoom meetings. And so that's really just where it stemmed from. How can we fix this? Because at CSB Inc., we believe that every student should be given an equal opportunity to be successful. Another poll I thought was interesting was when I asked if closed captioning on the Zooms would be helpful. Over 60% agreed that it would be helpful for Zooms, so that you'd retain the information a lot better. So how we basically would go about this is our company would be a for-profit company, but we wouldn't have any membership fee or anything like that. It'd be a free service, kind of like YouTube, for instance. You don't have to pay money to watch YouTube. But how we get our money is through advertising, and that's also how we get it out there. So first we'd start out by advertising the Zoom Reader through applications such as YouTube or anything watching. And then we'd have an advertisement that explains what Zoom Reader is and how it can be helpful. And that is also how we gain our money. So whenever there's a Zoom meeting, usually at the end or the very beginning of the Zoom meeting, we'll have a little advertisement from one of our sponsors, and that will be able to give us the amount of money to keep the company running, basically. So whenever you use Zoom Reader, all you have to do is watch just a couple of advertisements, and that really will help us like keep the company running, and so we can keep providing this amazing service. Basically, we believe that the Zoom Reader would be an amazing way for students to be able to truly retain information, because reading and listening to it would be much better than just having to listen to it, as many students have stated. I thank you for your time, and go CSBs.